Welcome to Smart Haus, a Pittsburgh podcast about smart technologies, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and the future. I'm your host, Dustin Dowling, and with me today is Nick Walker from the Burgh Bus. Thanks for coming, Nick.
Hey, man. I'm so happy to be here.
Did you
Thanks
take
for
the
having
bus here?
me. No, it is parked in the garage. It's happy to be inside right now.
So you were like the new Pittsburgh celebrity. I just saw you on the Jack Off podcast. So can you do a Pittsburgh accent then if you're this big Pittsburgh celebrity?
No, I can say downtown.
All right,
That's about
that's
it.
good enough. I don't know if you heard me try to say Smart Haus. I can't even nail that one down. You know, I'm all excited. People are going to think this is big Yinzer joke and that's what it's all about. I can't do the accent at all.
Yeah.
So you sound like you do it a little bit better than me, though.
Well, it's so funny. My wife and I used to go to a bar, and whenever whatever that song is, that's like when you're downtown.
Yeah.
But like there was this group of ladies that were like barflies, and that's how they would sing it out loud. Like when we come on, they would go when you're downtown. It
And
was so great. But yeah, that's one of my favorites, and I like to say that one.
yeah, me too. Sometimes I like to practice. At first, when I practiced this podcast, I had a list of Yinzer words that I would go through because I was trying to make that the show. And it was too hard. Like I couldn't even.
So like, what's your? Like the one that I think is kind of odd is Jeet Yet. Is that how you say?
Yeah.
It's like Jet.
Did you get there? Get her?
Yeah.
Yeah. Say that again, yours?
Jeet Yet.
Oh, did you eat yet?
Yeah. And I think that's it. Jeet
That
Yet.
one's good.
Yeah.
Good.
That one's kind of funny, which I've never used.
I tried to write a joke when I used to do stand-up comedy back in the day, and it was about if you have a certain Yinzer accent, a real thick one, you're like part of a gang, and you know it'd be like really tough. You're like, hey, you never been around over there? Yeah, you can't be going that downtown. Get your body, you know, like, and then just start yelling weird Yinzer word like Washington, Buggy. It wasn't at the point. I think I was just saying the stupidest Yinzer words I could think of. Anyway, so how is the Burgh Bus going? Tell me more about the Burgh Bus.
Oh man, the Burgh Bus is going great. So we had a super good first year, and the exciting thing this year is we already bought our second bus, and so I just picked that up. Like I don't even know, it was last weekend, the weekend before. I drove it up from Florida alone with no radio, no music, no podcast.
Oh my
I couldn't
God,
listen to anything.
Psycho.
So like that was the crazy part of it.
But
But
are you dropping that news right now, though, that you just bought a second Burgh Bus?
Well, it was
Are we dropping it?
oh yeah, everyone, no.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
sort of. This is the first like live.
Breaking news.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's
I don't
good to
have
scroll down there.
Yeah, I don't have an extra producer. Otherwise, he'd be working on it right now.
But yeah, so I mean, that's like we posted about it on our social. So that's like our big new thing that's going to happen this year. We still have to get it, retrofitted, painted, all that. But the idea is to make it pretty much the same what we have, but also different at the same time.
Okay.
Make the outside look different. We're gonna make the inside look different. So
You're not like a fleet. You're gonna be like Megatron and Transformers.
Yeah.
You have the whole thing going.
it's funny because being like what we have, it's like, wait, we don't really have a fleet. Like if you're like a bus company, you should have like a fleet. And it's like, well, we have one bus. When we have to like fill out stuff, it's like, what's your bus number? And I'm like, I guess it's bus 1. We don't have any. They're not numbered. Like if you look at school buses, they all have like 3-digit numbers.
When you were growing up and whatever you were thinking of how your career was going to be, did you ever think you were going to have a fleet?
Never.
Like, do you consider yourself the captain now, or like?
I don't even know. Like that. What would the leader of a fleet of vehicles on the road be?
I don't know. I would start thinking more of like how it's a spaceship because that seems cooler, and you're like a command. So you're like a commander actually.
There
You're like Matt, your guy. He's like the captain of the bus.
Of the bus.
Yeah, right. So like you're the commander. This has sounded way cooler now than more. It was cool before.
Yeah.
Sorry. It has always been cool.
We need more buses, is what you're saying. Like I need to command more than 1.5.
Yeah,
right now.
you need to be rolling down like coming down 28.
2 buses that way, 2 that way, 1 down the middle. Yeah.
You could take over the town.
Oh my God.
So that is crazy. So as I was going over my questions and stuff, and I was like, I always like to talk about transportation with this show because I find that to be one of the most interesting things with technology, especially cities and smart cities. And I was like, wow, this is really like a transportation business. And my first question was like, okay, when you were planning this, was that before the pandemic? You planned this out?
Oh yeah, it was. So my wife and I talked about it for a while, and I think when we started to pull the plug, like when we created the LLC, set up the business like checking account. We did all those initial steps, with the business planning aspect. It was late 2019.
Huh.
So like, I think that's when the entity was set up, like August of 2019. We were getting all of our ducks in a row. We started to we bought the buses in, I want to say December of 2019.
Wow.
Got them here. Yeah. So it was all leading up to hey, we're going to launch in 2020.
Yeah, but now you got that government money then too.
Yeah, it was good. It was all good. It was the best thing that could have happened. 'Cause, my wife was also pregnant. We had our daughter in 2020. And so, the whole world kind of shut down, as everyone knows. And so it was good for us to kind of take a step back, focus on raising her, and just that whole new thing.
So when you were playing though, where you realized, oh my God, now gas is here, and we were planning on it being here, or it was like, whatever, now that's just what it is.
Yeah, luckily that's one of those things that didn't come into a factor too much. The gas price, but it was way different then.
That's cool though. It didn't affect you. We're still doing it.
Yeah, I know, because that's what some people said, because right as we launched, it was right when gas was nuts. It was way high, especially for diesel. It was over $6 a gallon. And our bus is a 100-gallon tank.
I keep forgetting it's
And to fill that up, that was a nightmare. But everyone's like, oh, well, that means your route's going to be a lot shorter. You would probably want to do, a 10-mile route.
Yeah,
rather than 20
down,
but
shave it, shave them down. I guess maybe in the future when you have half of these will be battery powered, solar powered. I don't know what kind of power. Do you have some flying buses or some sorts?
In the works.
Yeah.
Not yet.
The Burgh, if it was the Burgh Bus, Burgh Flying Bus, would you have to have a new name for it, or would it be the Burgh Bus Elite? Oh, there's something. I feel like we're manifesting a real future here.
Yeah, I know. We're jumping ahead. It's how many buses, how many fleets? Oh, now it's going to be in the air. Okay. I know everyone always talks about when people hear about our business and get excited about it. If they're local, they're always like, oh, you're like the Just Ducky tours. And I'm like, well, sort of, but not really. I mean, those things went into the water. So that's what we need. We need a bus that can drive on the road and then take off and go over the rivers.
Ducky, they went out of business, didn't they?
They did, yeah. And so that was another reason that we did what we did with the Burgh Bus, was that we saw that gap in the market. Because the Just Ducky tours were here, I think, for 23 years. And they had a great run. They were very successful. They, did everything really well, and they were a huge hit, an icon in the city. And then the insurance wouldn't, cover them anymore. And it wasn't because of them. It was because of an incident that happened in, I think, Branson, Missouri.
Okay, that was a similar company.
Yeah, it was those amphibious, World War II vehicles, and it was a similar sightseeing thing. And the vehicles went out, I think, when the Coast Guard said they shouldn't, in bad weather, and then I don't know, half the people died that were on.
I can't wait to whatever. Yours is gonna be fine.
We're fine. We're gonna stay. I think we're just gonna stay on the land for now. Let's not go in the water.
You gotta progress with this economy, man. You gotta be in the water by next year and in the skies 2 years after that. Otherwise, someone else is coming around and figuring that out. That is funny. I forgot they left, and now you're taking. You should go buy one of those. They got to be sitting around somewhere.
Well, that's so funny. I think that, I don't know, 2 years ago, it might have been in the pandemic in 2020. I want to say they put their fleet up for auction, and I would love to know what. I think they had 7 or 8 of those things, and I would love to know how much they went for, where they went, what people did with.
All right. So if anyone knows about the Ducky
please,
tours,
I would love to know. Maybe we can talk. Maybe we should actually buy one.
Great, because I would love to see the future of you just running all these vehicles through. Actually, you're more than a tour bus. You are the main transportation for the city, because you just figured it out. It's it's always entertaining. You get home, you become energy self-sufficient. I don't know. We got fusion power now. You heard about that?
No, what is that? I'm thinking of Back to the Future, though. When you say that, because that's Mr. Fusion or whatever.
Well, sort of. So what everyone knows of nuclear power, what we actually see is called fission power. And that's when they split the atom.
Okay.
And then after that, obviously, you can have huge explosions, and you have all that toxic waste. A few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, this just happened. They learned how to do fusion power, which was put the atoms together. And basically what the sense would be, if I had 2 oranges and I put 2 oranges into the machine, it gave me 3 oranges back. So if you get a constant loop, it's a sun. They made a mini sun.
There you go, yeah.
mini sun. So now we have the power to basically just run things forever. Once we figure it out, they had to shoot a bunch of lasers at it and stuff. So it really wasn't, you put 2 in, get 3 out. We had to do all this other stuff. And once you get the chain reaction happening, and then it doesn't have any pollutants at all. So I think you need to get on that for your next bus. So you can have the fusion power bus.
Fusion power.
Fusion power.
Screw diesel, screw gas powered, all of that.
Yeah, well, now you know about it. So now later in the future, you'd be like, that Dustin guy said that one time. We should invest in this.
We should invest. Yeah.
And it's going to go, we're going to have, this is the world.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I'm skipping Pittsburgh now.
Screw the Burgh.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that? Like, what are your thoughts on, like, battery-powered transportation? Do you drive a car?
I do, yeah. We have, we have a regular gas-powered. But, of course, like, my wife and I, as we've been talking, we have an older car. We're like, hey, let's get the new car. And it's like, we should get an electric car, right? I mean, they're expensive, though. I think they're great. I don't know why you wouldn't want to move towards that if you can afford it. But the thing that I don't like currently is how far they can get. Like, it's a road trip. Like, it's, for example, if we picked one up or if we were driving to Florida in one, I mean, how many stops do you have to make? I don't know. What's the range on them? I've heard different. It's like
lately, we're pushing 500, so it's probably around 300. What really is?
Well, and that's the other thing. Then we talked about where we are, or if you're even in a more mountainous region, the battery life must be different,
right?
When you're going up and over a bunch of mountains.
Of course, and they're not going to add that in the data when
it's around 300 miles. Yeah. But if you're like going, around West Virginia in those mountains. Well, you're going to get maybe half that.
I had to borrow my uncle's hybrid for a while, and that was awesome because obviously you still put gas in it, but I was putting gas in it like every 2
you would forget about it.
I would forget about it. It was so awesome. So I would totally be comfortable with that, but I am driving too far to ever even think to get a full-blown...
just like a full battery powered. Yeah. I know, and that's because we drive to her parents' place in Virginia, and that's what we've always said, because we go up and over a bunch of mountains. And you're like, we had an electric car. Like, what would that, would we get there on a full charge? I don't know.
But someday, it's not far away, it will be, At some point in time, there weren't gas stations all across the country.
That's true, too, yeah.
So you hear the old heads always say, well, what if you break down? You don't get any gas. You can't go to the gas station. Don't have any electrics there. It was like at one point in time, the Ford company was like thinking that was a problem. Actually, the military and the government, I think, along with Ford, sent their trucks to get them from D.C. to somewhere in California. And they sort of cheated a little bit, but it was basically a marketing campaign to buy the Ford. And that's how they proved that they could do it, is they just took a couple of these Ford trucks or Ford cars, whatever these were, and they made it to California. And then, you just build onto that.
Yeah.
Someday you'll have the bus with the battery bus.
So I want to ask you a random question.
Yeah.
What do you think our bus gets?
Oh my
miles per gallon.
I have no idea, because you're also always stopping and going and driving in town a lot. So it's got to be hundreds, 150, 200. What is it?
Well, I'm asking how many miles per gallon you think you get.
Oh, that's what I was kind of guessing at. But...
Oh no, it's terrible. It's single digits.
Oh, I'm thinking the other way around. I'm sorry. I was going high.
I know.
You're right. Single digits. I was thinking triple. Yeah.
Well, it's like 8.
8. Oh my God.
Which I think a Prius probably gets in the high. I mean, that's high. Stack probably gets 60.
Yeah.
It's bad. So anyway, driving back from Florida, there was a lot of trips to the gas pump.
Oh man, this is hurting your heart and your wallet.
Every time.
Matt better have a really good show next week on this damn thing.
Come on, Matt.
Yeah. What do you think about we're gonna get into talking about artificial intelligence, and it's been a lot in the news. And but before we really get into that, what about having, automated vehicles? And your boy Matt, not Matt the comedian, Matt the driver, the captain, Captain Matt.
Captain Matt, yeah.
Captain Matt. What would happen to his job? He would lose his job, technically. Obviously, you're not planning on doing this anytime soon.
I don't know, Matt. That's, you could be replaced, is what we're saying. And that might be in the near future.
Oh, man, that's crazy.
I drive the bus too. So me and him are two that are licensed and on the insurance and
right.
So, and it's weird. It's it's an intimidating thing, but like once you do it, it's pretty easy.
Okay.
But like, I mean, we stay on a set route. Like, you know what I mean? It's like you stop. I mean, I think that AI could.
So for you, it seems actually probably more plausible than other transportation businesses because you're kind of on a set route instead of like just picking up and dropping off to whatever route that is.
Yeah, because I feel like Port Authority buses or any like city buses, like again, they're on a set route, but I feel like all those stops they have to make would get like so complicated. You know, it's like how many bus stops do they have on the route? I don't know. Like we just go.
Yeah, you're like,
we don't
stop and go.
But then that means like how many people are going to get off? How many people are going to get on?
Still, you're right. You seem to have like the best opportunity to use this offer. You should team up. I mean, they put that company in the Strip.
Yeah, is that Argo? Are they still here?
That's one of them.
Yeah.
They didn't get in trouble. I've been the same thing where another company had issues, and then so they said, hey, you can't drive around in the city.
Yeah. I know, because I remember at one point there was like, I don't know, 5 like AI.
I've seen them all the time.
Oh, yeah, there's different like Ford, and I mean, Uber had one here. There was a ton. It was like...
Yeah, I haven't heard Uber's. I don't know what happened about that.
I don't even know if they're still doing it.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
They're definitely not doing it here. And they even built that huge like test track or something is that Hazelwood, I want to say?
Yeah.
And it was like fake city streets.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, with like real trappic lights, real stop signs, real obstacles.
I want to go play like paintball there.
Yeah.
Or like airsoft. That sounds awesome.
Yeah. I know. But yeah, I mean, I think any AI, like any kind of autonomous transportation, I think would be easy if it was basically just, hey, you're getting from point A to point B. So I feel like interstate would actually be easy too, because like it's like, here, you're leaving the warehouse, like they just put everything in, and you need to get to, I don't know, Texas.
I'm just picturing you at home with your wife and your baby with coffee. You got all these monitors, and you just like star commander of this Burgh Bus fleet of just AI, and you're like, you're like Sims blowing up bridges and stuff. You're just that powerful now. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. How many bridges do we need? Not 446.
Yeah. This is fun. So anyways, the actual chat AI, have you heard or dealt with that at all in the last few weeks?
No.
So the official name of it now, and it's a Microsoft supported technology, which actually is going to be put into Bing, which is their search, is called ChatGPT. Everyone else can't see it, but it looks something like this. It's not much to it. And basically, you're just kind of chatting with it. Ask any question. You can answer questions. It only has information up to, I think, 2021.
Okay.
It's not directly connected to the internet because that would be like incredibly dangerous. But you can do really insane things. So like what I was doing today, I wanted to bring up these articles we're about to talk about. And I know a lot about this stuff, but I just kind of want to grab the article and talk about it a little bit. And so I threw it in ChatGPT, threw the whole article in there, gave me a summarize of it. And the summary is always like, I don't talk that way. So I'm like, dumb it down for a 12th grade person, 12th grade reading level. And so this is what Google's AI, the competition to Microsoft, they call it Barb, and it's coming out next week. And this is what this is what Microsoft's AI did for me about Google's AI. So here we go. Google is developing a conversational AI system named Barb, aimed to compete against Microsoft's ChatGPT tool. Their CEO announced in a blog that Barb will be exclusively available to a group of trusted testers before a wider release later this year. The chatbot aims to be able to explain complex subjects in simple terms and perform various tasks, such as providing meal suggestions based on fridge context. The announcement of Barb comes after Microsoft announces a large investment in OpenAI, the maker of ChatGPT. It does like everything, man. So here's a weird concept of what I saw someone do with it. The guy wanted to make some content, and he wanted to pretend that he was on a talk show, and he wanted to have a guest on the talk show. So he told the ChatGPT, hey, you are a guest on my talk show. I'm going to ask you questions. You are an expert on such and such. Answer accordingly. And then he was just in it. And then so once the guy knew that he would ask questions, then he would copy and paste that, put it into another AI system that would generate a voice and then made content like it was a real show.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you is if it could talk back to you.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
completely conversational.
Yeah. Completely conversational. And so when you said in the beginning, first off, what does GPT stand for?
Graphical. Man, I always forget because I hate that word and it's gonna go away eventually.
Well, I was gonna say does it not have a cool nickname? I like Barb.
No,
Barb
I thought the same thing.
I'm like, they came up with the competitor is Chat GPT. It couldn't be chat, even just chat bot.
So what I've been explaining in some recent podcasts, every time I say it, I say it wrong. Then my dad calls it CGI. Yeah. Because that's the way you make movies.
For sure, yeah.
So he's always like, yeah, chat GPEs, T's. Mm-hmm. The company is called OpenAI. This piece of software, it's called ChatGPT. And I think the next version is ChatGPT-3. Okay. But it's owned by, you know what I mean? Yeah. Eventually when the regular consumers will start to use it, they'll just see it as Google and Bing and Microsoft.
Exactly.
They won't even.
They're not going to call it Barb or ChatGPT. Yeah.
The power of it is ridiculous. I needed to make a contact list of some numbers or some emails, and it was scattered all over in this article. And I just copied and pasted, and I said, find all this, put it in column A, find all this, put it on column B. And it just did that.
So it basically, do you have to pay for it?
Right now, no.
Okay. So it's basically like having the world's best assistant.
Yes.
That'll basically not say no. I mean,
right.
Basically do what you want and probably very quick.
Yeah. And it knows every single language. It knows every single language of code. So you can tell it to make an app, make a website. And then you keep okay, you can say, write me a screenplay with Jack Black. He's a character, and he'll have the dialogue and then write it in this theme of pick a director or whatever like that, and it will do that.
Yeah.
And then you keep adjusting it, now make it darker, make it have
not enough jokes. Yeah. More car chases. Yeah.
Exactly. No, it's you just keep doing that until you get what you want.
So you're excited about this. I'm sure a lot of people are. What are the bad things that people could do with this?
So like I said, right now there's a reason it's not connected to the internet, even though I think in 2 weeks it will be.
So because you have to input.
It's all about asking, because that's what everything is about. It's about asking the right questions. So right now it's all about prompting, and where the profit really lies in is being the best prompter. So obviously Microsoft and Google want to be the best prompter, help you ask the best questions to get the best answer,
get the most out of it. Yeah.
So. But it's just an endless. It's so funny. There's so many things to talk about it. I sometimes don't know where to start.
Right. Yeah.
So how would you think you would try to use it?
I don't even know. That's the thing.
So I've been thinking about it for weeks. I'll jump the bench. I know you're still thinking, and I literally just thought about this today because I don't know what to do with it either. So far I've been just using it as SEO, sort of what I did with the article. I need to this podcast. I will translate this podcast on Adobe Premiere, which means it will take all our words and put it all out. I'll copy all that, and I'll give it to the ChatGPT. So now it knows what we're talking about. Then I'll say, give me a description of that podcast. It will. Give me options for titles. It will do that and keywords. So now all that work is done for me. That used to be me going, what should I call this podcast? Nick is really cool.
That's worth. Yeah. Let me input some words. Yeah. Update my
maybe a nerd now.
Yeah.
So it does that, and that's great. But and so what I'm thinking now, I thought this morning is I need a sales guy for my video production company because I'm always busy trying to make something, and I was I just need to make somebody. I literally I need to think that way, and so I named his name is Drew, DRU, and I think it was Director of Robotic Understanding. And now I'm just going to I'm going to give him his own email, and I'm going to use all these new AI tools and try to get a chat bot. So if you ever email Drew or need to talk to Drew, it seems like he's really there and he's going to be my sales guy. And I think in maybe 2 to 3 years, I think Drew will actually be a usable employee of mine. So that's
a crazy thought.
I know. I thought it today, and I was I can't wait to talk about it.
Drew, are you stuck on that name? Because I actually like the name Drew.
I said it to my assistant. He was like, I said Drew, and then he came up with Director of Robotic of Understanding, and I was like, that might be
Drew. DRU.
Yeah.
That's it.
And it's not, because it's not not DREW.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Okay. I still don't know what I would use for it. I feel like I don't know.
An accountant?
There you go. That would be good for the business. I'm even thinking more away from the business because, like, you mentioned, like, having to write a screenplay. Like, I used to do that, and that's a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Especially when you hit that wall, like, not knowing where to go. So, like, I'm sitting here, it's like, hey, I could input all my ideas.
It is crazy. So, I'm happy you brought that up. So, I've been working on a screenplay for a while, and just for fun, I started taking full scenes, and I just threw it in there.
Okay.
And I said, tell me about the scene. And it started telling me, it like gave me insight that
you didn't even probably think about.
Think about, and it made me rewrite some part of the scenes even better.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love this. I think I finished like 2 scenes because it was like having such a great wall to bounce off ideas and stuff on.
Yeah, so that's so funny because instead of like passing your screenplay or scene on to, 2 or 3 friends or trusted people, and you're like, get there.
Yeah.
I feel like it's great. I don't have any feedback.
And then what's crazy too, so you say you have only half an idea, you only wrote 2 pages, and then you can just put that in and be like, continue.
Where does it go from here?
And it will go. And it'll just keep, it also, it does like proofreading and all that stuff, so you can never be.
Does it give you opinions though? Because like, what if you inputted like your entire screenplay, let's say like, 100 pages, and you're like, what's wrong with it? How can I make it better?
You could, that's all about the prompting. If you try to really ask like an opinion, it will probably come back saying I'm only an AI chat. But if you would say, like if you say you knew a book about screenwriting, like it's a popular book and it's good, and say, based off the dynamics of this book and what you read in this book, how do you think that would improve my screenplay? You'd probably get an answer for that. Yeah. And that's like way about like you got to kind of prompt it and cheat it. It's that weird thing where like as a humanity, our entire lives is like, what is the question? What's the meaning of life? And now we're like asking this machine. It's like, if we just ask it the right question, you're going to have everything.
And we're going to get all those.
Get everything.
Don't just ask it to tell me another fart joke or something.
Yeah, it does that.
I was going to say,
pretty good.
That's like what everyone did when they got anything they could talk to. Like any technology was like right away. It's like, tell me a silly joke, like,
Yeah.
It was never like that deep, and so this like, I see what you mean. You just have to prompt it the right way.
Yeah, and it's scary because, for example, if I would ask it how to make a bomb, it won't tell me. It has some safeguards, but you can manipulate it and like ask it like a different way. Like, well, if I'm connecting this to do this to make this an incinerator, it might
connect the red wire or the blue wire.
Yeah, so it will tell you. It tells you exactly what you know. So it's like manipulation to this. So
so scary.
It is.
But then when is it going to know that it's being manipulated?
At some point in time, I think it's going to be the greatest resource that mankind has, and we're not going to be able to just give it to anybody. Like governments are gonna there'll be a level like we'll have like basic AI, like Rosie, like the from the Jetsons.
She's gonna clean your house.
Like we'll have that.
Yeah.
But like the governments will be able to ask it like insane questions and have it do like insane tasks.
Yeah.
And they'll just be like
the ones that are for like home use, commercial use will be like dumbed down basically. Have these like safeguards on it.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I think.
The potential can't be
it's
infinite. Yeah.
It's gonna be godlike. You would think, because it just keeps adding into superiority of just how fast it will be.
It's a scary thing because like they always, what were all those movies that we watched? Like, Terminator wasn't that? That was all about computers taking over.
They're all these movies are like. Have you ever seen the movie Idiocracy?
You know what? It's so funny. All of our friends in college like loved that movie. I think didn't Mike Judge make it or. I think he did. The guy, he did like Beavis and Butthead, King of the Hill, Office Space.
Because he was just doing some podcasts recently.
Okay, yeah, and like again, we had all these friends. It's amazing. I tried to watch it, and for some reason, I never liked it. But then finally watched it. I don't know, 5 years ago, from start to finish.
Was everyone a reaction like that?
It's weird because I think you're like, oh, you're not. It's like it's serious, but it's not. Yeah, it's the thing. It's like totally ridiculous.
So ridiculous.
Don't they water plants with Gatorade or something?
So that is the most crazy part about the movie, and it's the most relatable part.
Yeah.
We were talking business beforehand, and I was working with this guy, and his response was always like the salesperson response, like from the other product. So basically, we were kind of working in code with this other company to do this like live streaming thing. And I was always like, why are we working with them? I seem like we don't need to do it. And his response, swear to God, sounded like, well, because it has electrolytes. And I was like, yeah.
Do you
But,
hear yourself?
Like I kept explaining, and I couldn't explain. And I was like, you're just like recycling the propaganda, like the sales point. And I'm like, you don't understand why it's not working. And that's why I love that movie.
Yeah.
Like that thought process could be used on every industry throughout America.
I know. I almost feel like that movie was ahead of its time, although that's the thing, too. And I'm going to have to go rewatch it now because it probably even is more relevant now, like when you think about it in those terms. But anyway, yeah. I mean, but then again, don't people always think that with technology?
Forever.
Yeah.
Forever. They used to say when the printing press came out,
Oh, yeah.
oh my God, how are you going to ever remember anything? You're going to have the book right in. But to be honest, serious problem I have. Now that I know I have the answer to everything right there, I forget words. I forget people's names because I'm like, he's on Facebook. I'll remember
I can
his
look.
name. I can look him up. And they delete their Facebook, and I'm like, who's that guy?
Isn't that terrible?
I hate when I smack my.
Well, that was like before we started doing this. I couldn't remember the name of that show. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and it's like, but why? Like, we have too much shit going on.
It's so up there, and I think I just have access. And I do that too when I'm thinking I want to know something. I'm like,
How many?
why aren't you telling me, phone? Why aren't you telling me?
I would love to secretly like record a group of friends that were just hanging around having a conversation, and how many times someone said, "Oh, let me look that up." Yeah, I mean, people get out their phones all the time, don't they, to like do that? It's like, anytime someone's like, "Oh yeah, what was the name of that guy?" Oh, I'll just look it up real quick.
I'm so addicted.
It happened.
to that. I just started seeing some of it recently, and I got like excited because I kind of like that. So we're watching the movie, and I had a question about it, and I'm like, "What? I'm like, what's the answer?" And all of a sudden, she starts telling me the fact. I'm like, "I love you.
This is not awesome. You know me."
You're my new AI."
But it's so funny because we always do that. We always look up the answer or that thing we couldn't remember. But then does it stick after that? I don't think so.
And is it even worth it? It's like I find myself like, do I need this knowledge?
Yeah. That's the thing, too. It was like, for example, we were watching a show last night, and before the episode, it was like, oh, this one's in honor of, and they had like a picture of an actress and like her name, and we're like, oh, who's that? Oh, is that this character? And then my wife, I get my phone out to start looking, and I didn't even know that she did, and she's like, oh, it's this person. I'm like, and then guess what? I don't even remember what she was from now. You know what I mean? It's like we were so curious, we both went to get our phones out and do that, and like I don't remember her name.
Yeah,
don't
that's
remember.
even the
It's
worst.
terrible.
And then you're down a rabbit hole. I
yeah.
usually end up talking with TikTok.
Do you remember this? Do you remember that movie from the 90s?
Yeah. It was the worst when you do double content binge is when you're watching a Netflix movies and scrolling through TikTok at the same time.
Oh, do not.
both. You don't do that?
No, I don't
I
even.
apologize.
I don't have. I've never even been on TikTok. I have to
Oh my
admit.
God.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
We can go down that. Yeah.
So we're gonna go into our next like little news blurb, and this is some more automation stuff. Is McDonald's? They finally basically have a fully automated McDonald's. So McDonald's has opened a new location in Texas that operates mostly through automation. Customers can order their food through touch screen kiosk or drive-through lane. The restaurant still employs a team of human workers. I had to like put that in quotations because I couldn't say it right because I was like, that's something I don't say out of my mouth very often. Human workers. But the goal is to improve order accuracy and speed, which I'm cool with that. Critics argue that instead of automation, McDonald's should just pay its employees a living wage.
Okay. I would also think.
Hold on, this is the TikTok, if you can kind of see it. And the most boring guy ever. I guess this was during Christmas. So
I was gonna say
the Christmas part. Yeah, I'm sorry. See, this was obviously a few months old news, but it just looks like an empty McDonald's basically to me, which seems a little scary Because, our McDonald's, like, we have stabbings and fights and robots.
Oh, I think
robots.
they sell drugs at
Sell drugs. So, like,
kitchen, yeah.
if we have robots, like, who's going to handle that at McDonald's now? So, like, this...
Yeah, where's the sketchy, like, robot? Where's the sketchy guy?
Yeah, like, so there's a couple of humans in the back, like, working it. The robot's delivering, and then there's, like, one robot with, like, a bat or something. Like, what? Oh, that's funny. What's your feelings on having a fully automated restaurant? Are you cool with that? Or do you want to have a human touch?
I mean, when you go to fast food, it's kind of a simple thing.
That's what I think.
So it's like, I mean, if you went out to a nice dinner, you have like a date night. When you're in a restaurant, you need like that human interaction with a waiter, of course. But a restaurant, when most of the people go there for the quick, easy convenience of it, when they stay in their car in the drive-thru, why shouldn't it be automated?
Yeah, I basically try whatever I do with my life is like to avoid people at all costs.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I am a Walmart delivery like pro. Like
that's the one thing the pandemic did. It made us all so happy because it's like, guess what? I can now get like all my groceries delivered.
Yeah, I can never see people again if I choose not to.
I can push a button that says leave at my front door. Like, don't ring my bell. Like, don't call me. Just leave my food and get the hell out of here.
I always found it annoying when I actually have that, because I have that on all the apps, is leave at my door, do not knock on the door.
Yeah.
And if you knock on my freaking door, I get like angry. I'm like, go away.
Yeah.
Go away.
I know it's there.
I have so many cameras around this house.
I have cameras. My phone's telling me. Like, yeah. Your driver's going to be there in 3 minutes.
Yeah, I knew you were here before you were even here.
Yeah.
Craig.
I saw you looking at the houses. Am I at the right house? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you are. So you're into all that. Do you have an Amazon Prime? You're also that too?
Yeah, we've had that for a while. And I've had that. I feel like it's so funny. I remember it was Amazon. I remember back, that's when I ordered books like for school. Like, and that's all I did. I
guess I did order a few books on Amazon.
That's what I remember it being like. And I never thought like it'd be anything other than that. Yeah, I don't know. I would love to go back and see how long I've actually been paying for Prime.
That's a good question. I'm kind of interested in that too. Because it was the pandemic, but I think even a little bit before the pandemic, I got into that Amazon wardrobe thing where you could like
they always advertise that. It's like, you try something, you don't have to pay for it.
You don't have to pay for like a week.
And you're like, all right, if I don't like it, send it back.
You can fill it up. Like, I think the max is like 300. I think it's more if you once you do it a couple times. You can get like the nicest stuff. And wear it for a couple days. Wear it out.
Yeah, go out.
Obviously, you're going to get downtown, looking all snazzy. And, I'd always get like $300-400 worth of things, and I would get like one $50 thing at the end. Yeah. But it's all showing up at my door. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah. No, that's crazy.
It is crazy. But like, I think a lot of this automation, especially in like fast food, the reason it's not full automation is just the pushback that everyone be like, what about their germs?
What about the
What about the germs? Yeah. Otherwise, I think it'd be over.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be full restaurants.
They're like, yeah, everyone's like, yeah, that's great, and that's going to be great, but what about the people?
What do you think? What do you think is going to happen?
I mean, it seems like we're going in that.
It's coming.
I think there's certain things where that makes so much sense. I mean, it's McDonald's. Like, I've never worked in a McDonald's, but I mean, they don't really cook anything. I mean, they cook fries.
Right. They're kind of just pressing buttons really bad.
Yeah, and I think most things just come out and are like in like a heater, and so it makes sense. And I think at a place like McDonald's, it'll help with the cleanliness, right?
I would think. I'm more or less happy to have my order right. That's kind of what I want. And listen, I am not like against, like, I get people are going to lose their jobs. Something's going to happen.
Yeah.
And personally, I do like the idea of universal income, especially like in cities where these places this is going to start happening, and maybe that we should get ahead of the game. That's why I think certain cities are going to become smart cities. Like, we're talking about transportation, that, places that will have universal income are places that are going to have these type of companies like all of a sudden pop up. It's going to be so much automation because you're going to have that money, hopefully. I don't know what other terrible thing maybe comes if everyone's going to be super lazy and it just all of a sudden now it's inflation and it doesn't matter anyways because your $1,000 a month means nothing.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all a scary idea.
Super, super scary.
You know that was what I saw at the Pittsburgh airport when I flew down to get the bus, was they have that CMU created like big vacuum, like cleaning
Oh, okay.
that drives around.
It's at the airport.
It's at the airport.
Does it talk at all?
No, and it's really funny. So,
Okay.
like it's one of the it's a big vacuum or floor sweeper or something, and it's called. Of course, it has a name.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's something they put faces on it and
that's what they
voices on it.
did, and that's when I asked my bartender. I was like, "Oh, that's so funny! Like that thing has a face and a name. Like were people like scared of it?" And she said, "Yeah, like if some people were freaked out by it, so CMU thought that if they gave it a name and put like eyes and stuff on it,
It helps a little bit.
it helped a little bit." Yeah,
That's so weird. When I was a really young kid, it was maybe the second or first time I was ever on an airplane. And I don't know why they did this, and maybe because the airport was new. There was a sort of robot, and I think it was just on a remote control, and guy was just behind the thing. And he was doing a spot on, oh, there goes my brain.
There it is. Let's look at
There goes my brain. What's the Genie Williams? Oh, my God.
Genie Williams.
No. I'm sorry. I'm spacing out. Disney. The
Aladdin.
movie. Aladdin.
Genie with Robin Williams.
Robin Williams.
Yeah. You said Williams and you said Genie, and I was like, I guess he's talking about Aladdin.
This is how I talk to Google and AI, because it's just like, get me there. You know.
I've got the words.
It's like how my dad talks to me sometimes, just like random nouns, and I'm like trying to get there. So yeah
you got that.
So Robin Williams, he had a spot on Robin Williams impression. I was like freaking out, because I think at the time Aladdin just came out.
Right. So you're
And I was like thinking like, Robin, are you in there? So, and like, I don't know what it was. It was probably some kind of promotion to promote the airport. But I'm thinking like, that's what they might do to like keep you away, or like not scared of these machines, that they'll have like AI chatbots of sorts of like, oh, hey there, young sir, step away while I clean the corner.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be interacting with those things.
Or we could just make them all dead celebrities, like Robin Williams.
My God, you're right. You're right. This is, sorry. I had this sketch.
Everywhere.
I wrote this sketch, and I want to do it. I wrote this years ago. I said, in the future, we're going to have to like go through things, and they're all going to be automated. And so my picture was like, when you go through the tolls, this already happened. Like, you used to have to pay for the tolls.
Oh, yeah.
And now you just go right through. They don't even got rid of those. But I imagine like in the future, people will be so lonely that we're going to have to start hiring people back, but it's already done. So we're just hiring improv actors. So when you pull up to a toll, there's going to be an improv actor fake being a toll, but it's like typical improv, like say yes, like, how you know there, sir? This is like, it's everywhere you go will be like that, because people have lost it. Now we're doing revert.
That's so funny.
A job people will have.
But, well, so then that made me start to think, if you had AI, let's say, if you did have to, like, it was automated, let's say at a toll, or you did have to stop, let's say that there was, or even at a checkout line.
Yeah, somewhere you got to stop.
And then interact, and it was AI. How would you get out of that conversation if you're the AI? Because you know what it's like sometimes. There's some people that start talking to the checkout person at Giant Eagle, and they just it's like, hey, how are you doing? And the person's like, well, I went to the doctor today, and then they just start going, and it's like, I don't even know your first name, but you're telling me your medical history all of a sudden, and it's this thing. And so how would the AI basically like kind of
like push
you're like,
that
okay,
out?
I've got other people in line, like,
I love that.
Wouldn't it just keep going?
You're like writing sketch form.
There you go, SNL. I'll sell you that.
I'm writing you in the sketch now. The sketch, now you wrote the rest of the sketch. That's hilarious.
As a human, like, sometimes they're nice. Oh,
yeah, they're going to find a way out.
And then you, exactly, with an AI.
Yeah, the AI just like holds up the line.
Just keep going.
Yeah, they become best friends. They get married.
The lights go off and they're still talking. It's like, closing time and they're still talking.
The business goes flat. It's a multi-billion-dollar Amazon Whole Foods, just goes down on the stock market because this one old woman just wanted to talk to AI forever.
And the AI didn't, just kept going, oh, I'm so sorry, darling.
All right, if anyone wants to be a part of that, I think
we got it. I like
idea, Nick.
Or we could just make a full movie.
Maybe.
The whole conversation.
I love that so much.
I know. That popped in my mind, and I had to get it out there. I actually really like that, too.
That is great. Man, I'm going to be thinking about that the rest of the day today. That's really funny, Nick. You're part of the writing team now.
We don't need AI.
Yeah, we don't need AI. See, we did it all. That's what I was thinking. So we like to end the show. This is the new prompt. I like that new prompt. I'm not even saying that crap anymore. I just want to see what your screen time is on your phone. What is your number one app do you think is on your phone right now?
Oh my
Do you have an iPhone?
I do. Yeah. I've had an iPhone for a while. Oh, man.
See if you can pop it out and pull it up right now.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I bet I know. I bet it's actually Gmail, and that's so bad. Okay, where do I go? I've never looked at my screen time.
Settings, screen time right there.
Boom.
Yeah, boom.
But I don't have it turned on.
Oh, you don't have it turned on.
So I never use my phone.
Oh, so you...
There you go. There's your answer. 0 minutes a day.
So if you had to take a wild guess,
I actually bet I'm on my phone, period.
Yeah, you're little screen time, because I'll show you what mine looks like. So like usually I'm around like between 4 to 8 hours. 6 hours is my normal.
Where do you see the 4 to 8? So
I know what mine is.
Oh, you're just saying, yeah.
Around 6. I was just saying that as a number. You can see that was a high one.
I would say on my actual phone, it's probably like definitely under 3.
Wow.
And that's because I don't watch anything on there. And my wife does all of our social for the Burgh Bus.
Oh, okay. There's a big difference.
That's a big difference right there. But I do have all the apps. And so I do get on. I do see it. But I'm never like creating a reel. I'm never creating a post, like, because I know it takes time.
It does.
It's weird. I'm the type of person that loves and hates technology.
You're like in it, but just...
I'm in it because they kind of have to.
Yeah, because you said you're not on TikTok.
No TikTok.
Have you don't have it at all? You're not like...
I've never even like downloaded the app.
You never even like felt the kind of the feeling of swiping through?
Nope.
I'll
go even farther back. Okay, so I never, until we needed to have a business account for the Burgh Bus, even had a Facebook.
That's okay though. Facebook
or MySpace.
You want to vomit. MySpace. But have you been on Instagram? Have you gone through like the feeling of actually swiping up?
Well, like, I get the whole thing. Like, I look forward to it in the morning.
Yeah.
What's going on the Burgh Bus Instagram? And like, what's going on in Pittsburgh? What's going on with everything?
That is cool.
It's a weird thing. Like, I completely get it. I've always like been against it for some reason.
Because it's like a drug.
Yes. They know what they're doing. And wasn't there that Netflix like half documentary?
I want that guy on this show. I see him all the time.
Dude, that like, because I know I feel like it was one of those things that was so uncomfortable because you're like, yeah, this is how it is, and that's really scary. They nailed it on the head, and we didn't even finish it. And but it's a drug, the whole thing. Like,
it is a soup. It's just keep you engaging. So like you comment and post, so these people make money and gain power.
Oh, it's crazy.
But TikTok is different, and I've been trying to tell people this for a while.
Okay.
How scary it is. I've been on for a while, and so I felt, and it's weird to say feelings. I don't know how to say it, but I have felt like how the algorithm changes. Like at first, it used to give me this, and it used to act like this. So at first, it kind of sucked. A lot of girl dancing, a lot of like that kind of thing. And also, there weren't a lot of people using it at the time yet. So once more and more people understood how it worked. But the algorithm does not work the same as it does in Reels and YouTube stories. Obviously, it had a head start, so it's better. And the way I like to describe it is it knows it doesn't know what you want to watch. It knows what you need to watch.
I've heard someone else say something.
And so, like, for a while there, I was really into growing like farm little herbs. I wasn't doing personally, but watching this guy grow herbs and building a business in his basement. Like, he quit his full-time job and he was doing this whole thing, and he was just hardcore on the TikTok, and I was so entrenched, so into it. And then sometimes I'll be really into people just draining storm drains. Like I don't know why. Like that will just pop up. I'll flip through. And they're like,
the algorithm got you to that. You didn't like go out searching for that.
I was
and you're
not
like,
on TikTok.
Never even thought of a storm drain in my life.
I would love to see is some hick going down the street and just getting into the mud and just getting that storm drain.
You're gonna clean out.
When it gets all loud, and I'm like, oh yeah, yeah.
Ooh, who needs porn?
Oh yeah. It's crazy. And then what is happening now, especially with the Chat GPT and the artificial intelligence, I feel like there's a group of people with me. And so I'm like, I need to learn more about Chat GPT and technology and video. And now I'm getting that. And it's like this little way to do it and this way to do it. Like when I was younger, if I needed to teach myself something, because I was really crazy about this, I was get on YouTube and I would just binge watch the tutorial until I understood how to edit, how to make a Photoshop, and I would just do that. But now it's like automatically happening just through my regular dives into TikTok.
Yeah.
But the problem is, and I saw this on a Vsauce. You ever heard of Vsauce? He's like a crazy tech guru guy on YouTube. They did this experiment where they plugged your head into, like, they didn't plug it in, but they put this thing on your head, and it read your brainwaves for a while. And all you did was press this button, it turned on the red light. You just kept doing that. And sometimes the light would go on, and you were told not to press it when the light goes on. So you just did that for a while. And then eventually, what would happen was when they're about to hit the red light, the light would go on. So they could no longer hit the button. They couldn't do it. And so what they learned is you're not making the decision to hit the button. You're becoming aware of the decision to hit the button. And so the computer learned it, and it was doing it. It was beating you to the punch. And that's what TikTok feels like. It's like it's ahead of me on like what I want to see.
Yeah.
Before I know what I want to see. And that's a little scary.
You know, and it's funny when you say that, because like I said, the guy I was telling you about before we started, I think he's the one that mentioned that to me in that same kind of context, that like it somehow it tells me.
Tells you what you need. Tells you
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is so weird. And so, but like, as someone that's not on it, that doesn't know much about it, why are young kids so obsessed with it? And is it dangerous that they are so obsessed with it, that they're watching these short, somewhat I feel like they're watching the mindless stuff.
They are watching. You're right. And that is weird, because I wish we could get in there, like my daughter. I was like, I want you to watch some of the stuff I'm watching.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm
get something out of that.
Super intelligent now. Like, it's annoying to some people. To the point where Rob is like,
yeah.
Like that. And like in China, their version of TikTok, even though TikTok is in China, but they have their own version of TikTok. It does it forces learning.
Okay.
And it forces you to get off every once in a while. My way of saying to do it, because I think you can, as a parent, log on and like tweak it.
Parental control kind of.
Yeah. Is to take it off them and to search, so you can push their algorithm into like, search things you would like. So
instead of like the top trending, dance video.
Yeah. So it is tough. Hopefully you just try to get their interest to spark it and it works. But I do I like reverse go through my daughters to see what she watched. And it's not that bad.
That's good.
She used to get into what was the Roblox. It was a video game you could play and with multiple things. And that one was really bad. I had to like completely
get it out of here.
That. I was like, you can't play that anymore, because it was just kids talking to kids all over the world, like freedom. Just like kids could do anything. It was a real virtual world. That's why I get scared about the future of VR and stuff, because I would go into these rooms before. It's just like, let me see if she's can go in this room, and it's just full of 8-year-olds just spewing the worst, most hate, racist,
and it's just all
swearing, and the kid's like 5. And
you're like, this shouldn't be happening.
It's so awful.
Nobody should be exposed.
It's scary. It's honestly scary. And if to anyone that's listening to have kids, do not put them on Roblox.
No, I don't even like the name.
Yeah. No. And it was blowing up at the time as like the biggest VR, the biggest open source. I don't know if it's still happening, but it's a little scary. It's the same. It's like it was kind of before the metaverse. It's the same idea, but it was like the metaverse for kids.
Okay.
Like
so then, how about I'm gonna have a question for you. Having a daughter, how old is she?
She's 13.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
I was gonna say, I was like, TikTok. What's the like age? Isn't it 13? Is it 10? What are they like? What's the like thing you got to check for that?
Oh, that's a good question. I forget.
I feel like it's always like over 10.
Yeah.
Like 12.
I think so. That's funny. I do remember it when TikTok first came out, and she made an account when she was, I guess she was 10 or 11.
Yeah.
She had it for a couple months. She didn't really use it. She just kind of had it to play with.
Yeah.
And then one day she told me it was gone. And TikTok, what they did, they kind of figured out who all the kids were, and they deleted all their accounts. And it was a smart move at the time, because there was a building company, and they were like, we did a lot of, let's just delete everyone and then fresh start. Like, okay, put your birthday in.
Yeah.
At least lie to us.
Yeah. Don't just check them.
Yeah. And that's what they did at first. And, But yeah, TikTok actually, they have so much stuff. Like you can't even say dead or kill or sex. Like you have to say undead yourself.
Yeah.
They say segs.
Again, there's ways around it.
Yeah, there's ways around it. But at least to understand that you get a little bit older, you're slowing it down a little bit. But as for me, as information to learn, I am so addicted to it. And I feel like without it, I can't even like show up and have conversations about things. Because like we were saying earlier, like you cannot promote anything now in a horizontal fashion. You have to be making a 15-minute long short film story movie if you're shooting it in 16:9. Otherwise, it's all verticals.
Yeah. Well, so then my question was going to be, when do you think it's appropriate to give a child like a smartphone?
It's such a tough decision. I've been having issues lately with my daughter.
Yeah.
And I think it's okay if you are smart enough, like a tech guy like me, you can give a phone probably 7th grade, maybe 6th or 5th, and you can like turn everything off.
Right.
That's easy to say because when you give her your phone, look at all this cool stuff. You want to give her all the cool stuff.
Yeah.
So like, but I love the ability to know where my daughter is right now. She does not know that it's on, but I have the GPS, of course, on. Hope she doesn't watch the show this long. So I know. So I know if I can look right now. I even have it as a little widget down in the corner.
Oh, see, that's awesome.
I can see that she's at school.
That's or at least her phone is.
Yeah, correct. And no, actually, she has another thing on her keys too. That's also
There you go.
It's also a thing. So I like all that, and then you have the control to turn everything off. At least on the iPhone, so you could basically turn it into just a phone and text machine. So I think that's great.
And that's great.
And I think that's because emergencies.
Being out in the world, yeah.
TikTok as an app, I've checked it. I've never seen anything like too bad at first.
Super inappropriate.
Yeah, at first there was some stuff, but it depends on the app. Like the mother of my daughter is not as tech savvy and kind of is a little more open and letting it go. And it's like you need to check on those. So it's tough to say what age because at some point you're like depriving them of like knowledge and technology. Like my daughter, I showed her how to use ChatGPT, and she started writing and using it as a thesaurus. And it's like, oh, now you already have this advantage. So
yeah. No, but that's great because like most people, I feel like associate TikTok with just stupid trendy videos that are mindless and short, and people are just watching them one after the other, and they're not getting really any value out of it. And that's cool that you love TikTok for its
informational value.
Yeah. But not just like a time kill.
No, I really feel I mean
draining, like a redneck draining it. That's like a loop.
I used to too, because I'm really into TV and this kind of in video production, and I would love to come home and I would watch CNN, then I would watch Fox News, and then I would analyze the both of them, and I like, all right, that's so weird how he talks he talks like this, and then after the pandemic, I was like, I'm done with cable news. I can't. It's just like clown show, clown show, trash, clown show. And now, and that was like this one's YouTube too. I was like, I get my news from, I'll tell you, the main guy, Philip DeFranco is like my main just news guy. And then I read a lot from everywhere. But now with TikTok and their like green screen ability where to put anything, charts and stuff behind, I'm watching full blown news guys because they just like pull up articles and they just put their phone here. And now it almost looks, they're like this can be behind anything. And some people are so freaking intelligent. It's just blowing my mind. Like I would never watch the news. So these guys are behind their desks in like a place like this at night. So they're never leaving. They're not going. I'm watching like congressmen straight out of the Capitol just tell me how their day was. And that's way better than hearing some news guy that's, miles and miles.
Yeah. And totally different state.
The whole state, city. You're right. Or whatever. So
you're like, screw your opinion.
Yeah. So I think that's the difference because people had that feeling of it, and they still do. Like, that's just for dancing. I was like, all right, boomer.
There you go. Yeah. I know. And so like that's one thing that we haven't done with the bus, and it's social, and we would love to get into. But again, the content we would create would be silly comedy bits. Like there wouldn't be much value to it, I feel like.
So that is the funny thing with TikTok, how it works so differently than any other content you make. And it's so first of all, one reason I do love TikTok If it's not good, it's not going to get pushed. That's why, like, people say, well, hey, well, you like it, and I'll have my friend like it, then I'll make 3 accounts, and those accounts will like it. That will give them a early push.
Next thing you know, there's thousands and thousands of likes. Yeah.
It used to, like, I'm talking maybe 10, 15 years ago, you could maybe do that. But now...
Not with how many people are...
No, TikTok's, it has this thing where it figures out if it's good or not. So... You can't go full, like, marketing, like, we have a Burgh Bus and we're at 9 o'clock. You kind of either got to do the trends.
Yeah.
The weird trends. But since it's such a social activity, just social stuff that, people screaming and drinking.
Yeah.
People are, and it's already happening for you, by the way. People are making TikToks of the Burgh Bus.
What are you talking about? Show me. What do you mean?
I'm sure, well, let's see. I guess you're not in there to know. So let's just see what happens.
They see it right around town or
around town. So if I just put in Burgh Bus.
Is this on TikTok?
Yeah. Okay. I bet there are users just having their good time.
So that's what you mean. Oh,
so it's just other people enjoying your. I think you guys actually made this one. Well, there's Matt Light on that's Jack.
That might have been them. Oh yeah, that's that's Samantha's friend.
Sam. I know Sam.
Yeah. That's ours.
Oh, that one's yours.
So we tried to do it.
Yeah, you try.
Oh, now it's stuff to do in Pittsburgh.
It's funny. Right? It's funny. These type of videos, can't see.
Yeah, no, we're like...
They work more on Instagram. I don't know why.
I feel like...
It's because it's not personable. Like, you can be more commercial on Instagram, but on TikTok, they always want someone talking.
Whoa.
This one's cool that I like.
Yeah, that was fun. So, and that's what someone told me too for doing any social with Reels, video, any whatever you're doing, is people want that perspective that they're there. Like, they like that idea of like showing like the feet walking onto the bus.
Yeah.
And they like the idea of seeing like the hand drink the beer as if they're experiencing
is the content. And I don't hate it, by the way, because I like to know where to go around town, and that's why I've been loving this content lately. Like, I'm going to go to Shorty's now to go play duck pin bowling, and then there's the Burgh Bus. And then there's that new brewery across the street over there called Fox's or something like that.
Oh, Sly Fox.
Sly Fox, yeah. And so with that kind of content is like, I love it, because that's how you walk into the bar. That's the entrance. I know that's hilarious, but as far as like a boomer thing, especially like they didn't care about front doors or signage. Like back in the 70s, I don't know if that was, everyone just knew where the bar was or the restaurant.
But don't you like sometimes feel a little stressed if you go to like a place for the first time that's like a place that there's probably a bunch of locals and you don't want to show up like feeling like the outsider? It's like, am I allowed to be here? Do you sell beer?
That's why I love that content where I'm like, I can fake like, oh, I've been here before.
Exactly.
I feel like I've done the video. I've done that if I wanted to go to New York City, I've done this. I'll go to YouTube and I'll find those videos where they're walking through the city with like a gimbal.
Yeah, and you're like,
and I'll just like, oh,
that was me. I did that.
Yeah.
I've been here before.
I've been here before. So that's why that content is so
great.
Makes sense, yeah. At some point it is gonna go away.
Yeah, you can't watch that all the time.
But it's
working right now.
It's almost annoying because you can't make anything else.
Yeah.
And like I can't do like a narrative. I'm like I want to have fun making some kind of funny mini movie or a drama mini whatever it is. It's like
it would feel too scripted. It would feel too like
no one's gonna see
unofficial.
it.
Yeah,
no one's gonna see it. They want to know where to get the Yingling specials and their tacos and their bowling and how they walk in the front door.
Yeah, they want to see the hand open the door. The feet take the 2 steps in, and then the cheers of the drinks, and then boom.
Nick, you just wrote my next one. I'm doing that.
Right.
But it can't be to like a restaurant. It needs to be like to my bathroom or like.
For when we forgot how to like use the toilet.
Yeah, it's got to be like, it's so the simplest thing. It has to have that monotone voice. That's another weird thing. I don't get all my life. I think I've been talking way too much on this podcast, Nick, and I thank you for being my guest, but I feel like you're asking me the questions and I'm the guest.
You didn't know I bought the rights to your podcast.
Oh, no.
This is mine. It's the Burgh Bus presents Smart Haus.
Now I forget exactly what I was going with my point. I'm laughing. What were we talking about? I'm trying to wrap this up.
Reels, walking into places too simple, going to the bathroom, people forgetting. I don't know.
Yeah, I was probably just going to make fun of boomers is really what I was going to do. Is like, that's the theme of the show, basically. Smart Haus, boomers, just straighten up, figure it out. Nick, you want
Figure
to
it
plug?
out.
You want to plug some more stuff at the Burgh House websites, times, anything special coming up?
Burgh House.
Man, that is
See, it happened.
It happened. It happened already.
It worked.
The Burgh Bus. What's going on with the Burgh Bus?
The Burgh Bus. This is our second year. We're gonna dream big. We have all new experiences coming out. We're gonna be doing the same stuff, same comedy stuff. It's always BYOB. We have a second bus now for twice the fun, and there's a lot of fun stuff.
Is it certain nights or how's that work?
Yeah, I mean, so we're obviously Friday and Saturday night was our best nights.
Okay.
Saturdays were always great. We would love to do more, so people go out there and buy tickets.
Yeah, because they got double the bus.
Yeah, we got double the bus.
Double the
You
bus.
I mean, I think day drinking is just as fun as night drinking. So I think people should start doing it on the weekends, weekdays. I mean, anytime we went out on a weekday, everyone BYOB, and that's what's like awesome.
It's because
It doesn't.
day drinking is so special.
I know.
And once you give such a great reason for it, once you give that excuse,
And no one's gonna judge you that
I
you
mean,
showed up with like,
dude,
yeah,
you combined all the best ideas ever and like became just the greatest business idea of just drinking, partying,
yeah.
and bringing the whole Pittsburgh into it.
It's all about having fun.
Yeah.
It's all about enjoying the city, enjoying what the city has to offer, and so that was always the goal.
Well, thanks for coming on, Nick. And thanks for watching Smart House on the Pits. All the news stories can be found on the Smart Haus Facebook page. Check out www.thepitts.company, where you can find endless amounts of funny and informative content from Pittsburgh. Smart House is produced by the Gateway.media, the gateway to all your media needs. Guys, this has been Smart House.